Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So in this one here, I want to obviously talk about episode 5. So I guess I should warn you that this will contain spoilers for episode 4 because of, well, I guess what happened at the very end there. Like I do want to talk about what that set up here for episode 5 because it seems like as of episode 4, everything is now set up for everything else to start to go in motion. I mean, if you really think about the first 4 episodes, and again, this will contain spoilers, but the first 2 was all about setting up this whole thing, right? Going into the subway station, meeting the Reapers, going on this journey. And then episodes 3 and 4 kind of, it branched off into its main storylines, into what the Reaper storyline is actually going to be. We had some Commonwealth stuff, or I guess in 1 and 2. We got some setup there, and it looks like in episode 5, we're actually going to get into a lot of it. We're going to see the Commonwealth for the first time. We're going to learn a lot about this community. But now we have Maggie and Negan on their own, traveling to the Meridian. And we also have Daryl at the Meridian now. And it looks like this is the setup now. Like, this is the base in terms of, like, this is where we're at. And so now we're just going to start to, I guess, learn a little bit more about the communities, advance a lot more with certain storylines. We're going to get the Connie reveal eventually. I think it's episode 6, I believe. And then 7 and 8, everything's going to start to wrap up because we're going to have Maggie and Negan both arrive at the Meridian. And that's going to be crazy. Like, once Negan and Maggie get there, with Daryl being there, with Daryl having joined the Reapers, I mean, his allegiance is going to be tested. We obviously know he's going to be on our side, but there's the whole Leah aspect, because Leah seems to be very devoted to the Reapers. And so if Daryl wants to leave, like, how is all that going to play out? It's definitely really interesting, because obviously Daryl's going to want Leah to come with him. I don't think Leah is going to leave with Daryl, though. I think she like, this is her family. Like, in my opinion, I believe that she found family in the Reapers. And I think that's just, it's kind of tragic, but it is what it is, right? But anyways, I want to get into the trailer here. So obviously, if you're new here and you do want more Walking Dead content like this, then make sure to be a subscriber. I will also be posting an episode 3 in-depth review that'll be out tonight, so stay tuned for that. I'll be going very in-depth on the episode. Like, usually my review videos, the general ones are very just like, oh, this thing was crazy. And, like, it's a very general reaction. It's just kind of like, oh, whoa, this happened, this happened. My in-depth videos really, like, I want to go through every single scene in the episode. I want to give my thoughts on different things that I never talked about, talk about the comic Easter eggs and etc. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. But also, one quick thing, I have a Twitch channel now, and I mean, I already had it before, but I want to start using it a lot more because I think it would be a lot of fun to actually play some of the newer games, especially just because there's new consoles out, right? Because I have a Series X, I have a PS5, so I'm going to be playing a bunch of games. Right now, I'm kind of thinking that I want to play Cold War Zombies a lot, maybe some Warzone and stuff like that. But anyways, make sure to go follow me on Twitch. It's at Appetite for the Dead. And yeah, anyways, let's continue with the video. Let's talk about episode 5 here. This episode, actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up the synopsis for episode 5 really quick. The episode is titled Out of the Ashes, and I mean, the air date, I guess, on TV is September 19th, which just seems so far away because we're going to be watching it in like a week from now, but I guess it lines up. Anyways, the synopsis reads, Aaron, Carol, Lydia, and Jerry go to the Hilltop ruins for blacksmith tools and nearby game. Eugene's group goes through orientation at the Commonwealth. Maggie and Negan trudge through the woods. Judith and kids clash with, and I believe that the rest of it, from what I remember anyway, says something about teenagers. And I guess that makes sense. I guess what we're going to be getting here is more of like a bullying storyline, which I feel like for the kids, it is kind of a cool storyline in a sense, right? Like, you have them standing up for themselves in that sense. Like, yeah, it's not like a big world problem, but the thing is, the way you handle being bullied and stuff like that really does, I believe anyways, set you up for the real world and stuff. And it really does, you know what I mean? Like, those are very crucial learning moments, and you need a lot of support around you. You need to be strong, because that stuff could be traumatizing, and I know from experience. And so I think Judith and the rest of the kids dealing with other people, maybe trying to like run things and do, you know what I mean? I think that could be a really crucial learning experience for Judith, and I think it could be a really fun storyline here, at least in this episode, because I mean, you got to give them something, right? Judith is a big part of the show, but it's also really unrealistic to have her really appear in a lot of the current material, right? Like, could you have Judith out there fighting the Reapers? No, not really. That would just be so ridiculous. Like, there's not a lot that you can really do with the kids and stuff. So I think that this is, as we're in the final season, I think this makes a lot of sense. I mean, that was kind of the thing with Carl too, if you think about it, back in season 7 and 8, right? During or even season 6, a lot of that savior arc there, the all out war arc, they had him at home in Alexandria the entire time, because it felt kind of ridiculous to have a kid out there and like helping out in that way, right? Like, yeah, Carl was a bit older, but he was still a kid. So, but to focus on the first part here, I guess, of the synopsis, it does say that Aaron, Carol, Lydia, and Jerry go to the Hilltop ruins for blacksmith tools and nearby game. And we do see that here. We can see that Aaron and all of them arrive to the Hilltop, and then they find a bunch of zombies here because obviously there's going to be a lot of zombies. What I actually do like is this shot here. This shot is actually in the Comic-Con trailer. This is not in the trailer that was released, the episode 5 trailer. But what we saw in the episode 5 trailer was a shot of the door opening, and it looked like they were about to walk down here. Now, this is the cells. If you didn't know, these are the cells of the Hilltop. This is where Lydia was staying. So it's going to be interesting to see Lydia back in these cells here, but on a different side. Because there's just so many zombies out there, because it just seems to be a wreck, I like, my prediction is that they're staying in here to hide out, right? I think it makes a lot of sense that they're staying here to hide from the zombies and stuff, because it's really the only place that they can stay. And that is a question I have about the Hilltop, because if you notice, we're kind of ignoring it a lot, because like in the comic, practically right away they rebuild. But we're in a different place here on the show. Like, they're not even rebuilding the Hilltop yet. They haven't even decided yet, and it's the final season, so when are they going to get around to that? As of now, the Hilltop is just destroyed and abandoned, just like the Kingdom. Obviously, they come back here, but if you read the synopsis, it says that they only come back here for food and supplies and stuff like blacksmith tools and all that to help Alexandria. So they're focusing on staying in Alexandria, not the Hilltop. And so, you know, I do think the Hilltop eventually one day will be rebuilt. But I think that this could be a key difference from the show, that they just choose to not rebuild the Hilltop. And, you know, maybe later on they will. Like in the last episode, if we see that time jump, we'll get some shots of the Hilltop, and we'll actually see the Hilltop being rebuilt, or will have been rebuilt if they do a 20-year time jump. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into this storyline specifically, because this is like the main like group stuff, right? Like the home stuff that we haven't really got much of this season, right? 4 episodes in, we just got a little bit of it, but it was those characters looking around for horses. And so it wasn't really much of that. This I'm excited for, because I want to see what the Hilltop's like, and I want to see what their plan is at the end. Do they just decide to leave? Because if they just decide to leave, then that pretty much settles it right there. Like, the Hilltop is not going to be rebuilt, at least, or they're not even going to try to rebuild it until the second part of the final season. But when you get into the next part of the synopsis, this is where things look really crazy, at least based off the trailer. Eugene's group goes through orientation at the Commonwealth. And when you actually look at all the footage here, yeah, I mean, this is their reaction here to the Commonwealth. And this is the fun part about all of it. This is the part that I was waiting for, right? Like, I think all of us have been waiting to actually get to the Commonwealth, to see the community, to see everyone's reactions, and just really get going in that arc, because it's felt like for forever now that they've been held captive, and you know what I mean? So for this here, to actually have the community here, to actually see Stephanie, I mean, it's the fake Stephanie, but, you know, communicating with Eugene. Ezekiel looks like he's just completely blown away by all of this, which, I mean, his reaction is going to be our reaction, right, to all of this. Like, it's just insane. It's insane to actually be at this place that is just like literally normal life, and everyone's operating normally. It is just 100% normal. And so I do think to a lot of these people here, like, they're going to want to stay. And this is where we're going to start to learn more things about which characters want to stay and which characters want to go back to Alexandria. And I do believe, anyways, that Yumiko is going to want to stay. And then as of that, I don't really know with the other three. With Ezekiel, Princess, and Eugene, it could really go any other way, right? Like, Princess might want to stay because of Mercer, and she might just be like, yeah, but, you know, sure, I have to work this life as like a cashier or whatever, that like I won't be able to go up in life or whatever, but that's kind of all I had planned anyways, and so I'm totally fine with it. So she might be fine with it, right? It really depends. It honestly really depends on how all of this is going to go. So I really like the shots here in the trailer. I thought everything here looked really great. I can't wait to actually see the Commonwealth. I think that for a lot of us, it's just going to be really mind-blowing to see our characters in this position. But when you go to the next part of the synopsis here, it says that Maggie and Negan trudge through the woods. And you only really get one scene here of Maggie and Negan, but it is interesting just to have both of them alone here. And this is going to be the episode that really tells me anyways what happens next with the characters and what their plan is. And I think they're going to go through some emotional stuff here. I mean, you can kind of argue they've always been going through that, right, in every episode so far, but they're alone now, right? They're alone together or whatever. So they're going to have to like sort through some shit. They're going to have to talk about, you know, what, like Negan mentions in the trailer here, that we're going to have to trust each other if this is going to work out. So they're kind of forced to. And so Negan, I think, like, honestly, in this whole situation, I trust Negan. I know he wouldn't kill Maggie. I know he's not thinking that. Maggie, I don't know, though. And that's kind of the place we're at with Maggie, right? Do we trust her with all this? And I don't know. I don't know if we can trust Maggie here. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, what's Maggie going to do to Negan after all this is done with the Reaper arc? And I guess that's kind of the exciting part about all of it. We do see the Whisperer mask thing, so I'm guessing Negan teaches Maggie about this here. And then in episode 7, Maggie and Negan are going to actually use that to their advantage. I do believe in episode 6, they take a break from this whole storyline, from Maggie and Negan's storyline. I could be wrong, but from what I remember, the synopsis for episode 6 mostly focuses on Daryl and the Reapers and Connie and Kelly. So I think that's where we're going to get that reveal. That stuff's going to get sorted out there. Connie's going to come back home, or Kelly's going to react to Connie being found, right? There's that. There's some stuff with Virgil that's going to get sorted out. So that's episode 6, 7, 8 is going to be Maggie and Negan finally getting there to the Meridian. Daryl and Leah sorting through some stuff, and then just the crazy epic battle at the very end. So overall, like I said on Twitter, this episode 5 is the start of shit going down. This is where we're going to start to really ramp up all these arcs here and to start to really get into it. The first 4 was just a lot of setup. I really enjoyed all 4 episodes. My favorite so far, I would say, is episode 3 though. 4 would be like maybe second or third around there, but like all of them I really like, so I'm not going to really rank them right now, but all I know for sure is 3 is my favorite. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below on episode 5 or your predictions for episode 5, and I'll see you guys in the next one.